Hi everybody, I'm Joanne Frank, naturalist volunteer here at Bernheim, and we were just talking about beavers and their lodges and their dams, and I have a few examples to show you. The first thing I want to show you is the logs in the trees that they cut down. As you can see, they kind of gnaw right to a point, and then this one was designed special to go in the ground, and they drag them back to their lodges. This is another example. This is a small tree branch, and this one's kind of a funny shaped one, but every piece of wood is useful. The interesting thing about this part of it is when you have a tree log, it has bark on the outside, and then it has this little fine layer of, it's called cambium. It's on the inside of the wood, and that's very nutritious for beavers. So you might see a beaver chewing on a log if you look at a picture of a beaver, and what he's really doing is chewing that cambium off, getting some nourishment. But the log is still useful because he'll use it in his house or in his dam. This is a picture of a dam. As you can see, it's got all the logs built up on the top, and what happens is this little beaver is swimming around, and he swims over here and he goes into the house and sits up on top. It's nice and dry in there. He's protected from predators. It's so thick that even a big bear can't get through the top of it. The really other good thing about a lodge is that, as you know, winter comes. Now, some beavers live way up north, some live down in the south, but the ones that live way up north might be in winter for over 6 months. Now, this little lodge is full of insulation, and it snows on top of it, and that creates more insulation. And what they have is like a little kind of, it's not a pipe, but it's an airway that goes all the way up to the top. That lets moisture escape, and it also lets oxygen in. But you might see a big bear jumping on the top because he knows the beaver's down under there, but he can't get to him. So inside this lodge, they have little babies. They usually have between 2 and 4 babies. They're called kits, and those babies live with their parents for 2 years. The mom and dad beaver are what is called monogamous, and they stay together for their whole lives, unless one of them dies, of course. So the babies stay for 2 years, and the junior beavers, which are a year old, actually are learning how to build dams, and they imitate their parents and follow them around and learn how to do this. And after about 2 years, they kind of have a signal in them that says, it's time for me to go find my own house, find myself a wife, and create my own family. So they swim off, go upstream farther or maybe downstream farther, and have a strong nose. So they have this scent that tells them when there's a female beaver nearby. So if Mr. Beaver finds a Mrs. Beaver and they decide they like each other, then they're going to start all over again. They're going to start a new dam and then build a new house. This is just a diagram of some beavers that is in their habitat. You can see like they've chewed down a few trees, and usually they help each other. Whoops, Mr. Beaver just fell over. They help each other, so you might see 2 or 3 beavers because they're all in the same family, and you know, the family can be up to maybe 8 or 10 beavers, and they all help each other to maintain their habitat and maintain their house. Around August, the beavers start collecting smaller branches for food. It's their refrigerator. So they swim around and they take all these logs that are full of leaves and they shove them into the bottom of the pond. And all winter long they swim out from their dam, go over to the refrigerator and drag the tree back into their house, and they all have breakfast or lunch. How would you like to have that for dinner?